Supplementary reading 15. Muzaffar Sharif's experiment. In the 1930s, the psychologist Muzaffar Sharif conducted some simple experiments on sensory perception. Subjects were placed in a very dark room, and a small pinpoint of light was positioned at some distance in front of them. The light was actually stationary, but because of a perceptual illusion, it appeared to move. On each of several trials, Sharif asked people to estimate the distance that the light had moved. When polled individually, subjects did not agree with one another, and their answers varied significantly from one trial to another. This is not surprising, because the light did not move. Any judgment about distance was a stab in the dark. But Sharif found some striking results when subjects were asked to act in small groups. Here, individual judgments converged, and a group norm establishing the right distance quickly developed. Indeed, the norm remained stable within groups across different trials, thus leading to a situation in which different groups made and were strongly committed to quite different judgments. There is an important clue here about how similar groups, indeed similar nations, can converge on very different beliefs and actions simply because of modest and even arbitrary variations in starting points. When Sharif added a confederate, his own ally, unbeknownst to subjects, something else happened. At least when the confederate spoke confidentially and firmly, his judgment had a huge effect. More specifically, the Confederates' estimate, typically much higher or much lower than those made by others, helped produce correspondingly higher or lower judgments with the group. Supplementary reading 16. The Ultimate Guide to Tipping in America. In America, legally it's voluntary, but if you slink out of a restaurant without leaving a gratuity of between 20 and 25%, you're likely to be chased by a waiter demanding to know why. To help you avoid tipping anxiety, we explain how to tip in the United States. Why should I tip? Paying extra on top of the bill at a restaurant may seem unnecessary to us, but if you consider the servers in America earn just a few dollars per hour for their services, it starts to make sense. In fact, under American federal law, the minimum wage for employees who also earn tips is just $2.13 an hour, and for those who don't, it's $7.25. Think of servers as independent contractors you're paying to wait your table. How much should I tip at a restaurant? A gratuity of 20 to 25% on top of the bill is standard, with extra given for top-notch service. Servers in America work hard for the money. They are generally friendly, knowledgeable, and willing to go to extra mile for customers. What if the service was terrible? Bad service is unusual, but it happens. To not tip at all, though, the service would have to be dreadful. Leaving just 10% is a clear indication that the experience was not up to par. If you depart without tipping or providing an explanation, your server will want to know why. Do I have to tip for fast food or takeaway coffee? At fast food chains such as Dunkin' Donuts or In-N-Out, the answer is no. In any other establishment, such as specialist delis, cafes, and fast casual joints from taco trucks to hot dog vendors, 10% is the accepted minimum amount. For takeaway from a restaurant, you should tip the restaurant at least 10% to cover the staff who facilitate and manage your order. If you're simply picking up a coffee to go, a $1 tip or 20% is customary. $1 tip or 20% is customary. Supplementary reading 17. Personalization of search engine. We know that what we do while signed into Google services will be reflected in our search results. This has been true for a long time. As far back as 2007, Google was investing heavily in customization technology. By late 2009, it had changed its algorithms to deliver personalized search to all web users. Our locations, our search histories, our computers, all of these and more influence Google search results, and therefore our view of the world. Personalization makes for digital magic. Let's say that you've lost a favorite earring and want to replace it, and that when you first found the pair many years ago, you took a picture of it and sent it in an email to your sister. When you next search Google Images for earrings, you may find an exact match at the very top. You wouldn't know that the critical data point was the picture in your email. You don't even have to remember that there ever was a picture or an email at all. This is just what happens when you've got a search engine attached to your own email account. Multiply that experience by years of people, email, and search. That's how powerful the dominant platforms really are as artificial intelligence aids for virtually any tasks we undertake. They have unmatched abilities to advance users' data-dependent interests. Supplementary reading 18. Disney's internship program. Disney runs one of the world's largest internship programs. Each year, between 7,000 and 800 college students and recent graduates work full-time, minimum wage, menial internships at Disney World. Typical stints last 4 to 5 months, but the advantage programs may go on for up to 7 months. These programs all overlap with the academic year. Rather than offer traditional summer internships, Disney's schedule is determined by the company's manpower needs, requiring students to temporarily suspend their schooling or continue it on Disney property and on Disney terms. The interns work entirely at the company's will, subject to a raft of draconian policies, without sick days or time off, without grievance procedures, without guarantees of workers' compensation or protection against harassment or unfair treatment. 12-hour shifts are typical, many of them beginning at 6 a.m. or stretching past midnight. Interns sign up without knowing what jobs they'll do or the salaries they'll be paid, though it typically hovers right near minimum wage. Supplementary reading 19. Our planet is an amazing place, but it needs our help to thrive. That's why each year on April 22nd, more than 1 billion people celebrate Earth Day to protect the planet from things like pollution and deforestation. The first Earth Day was celebrated in 1970 when a United States senator from Wisconsin organized a national demonstration to raise awareness about environmental issues. Rallies took place across the country, and by the end of the year, the US government had created the Environmental Protection Agency. By 1990, Earth Day was an event celebrated by more than 140 countries around the globe. Check out these Earth Day ideas to help save the planet at any time of year. Become a waste warrior. The number of garbage trucks Americans fill each year will stretch halfway to the moon. Toilet paper tubes made from cardboard take 2 months to decompose in a landfill. A plastic bottle sticks around for way longer. It can take over 450 years to break down. But instead of turning to the trash bin, you could turn these items into an awesome telescope or a flower planter. Before you throw something away, think about whether it can be recycled or repurposed. Plant a tree. Researchers estimate roughly 15 billion trees in the world are cut down each year, so help offset that loss by planting a tree of your own. Trees absorb carbon dioxide and release oxygen for people to breathe. They also provide shelter and food for animals such as squirrels and owls. How many more reasons do you need to go green? Turn off the lights. Does that lamp really need to be on while the sun is out? Electricity doesn't just happen. It has to be produced from things around us. A lot of times it comes from fossil fuels such as coal, oil, or natural gas that contribute to climate change. No matter where it's coming from, try conserving electrical energy by using only what you need.